First aspect of culture that I discovered on America was that of economy, which could also be considered as money or the universal currency that is found worldwide. This item is used as a way to purchase necessities and help people survive. It can also be used to trade in other cultures. If currency isn't common within those cultures, they will trade beads, clay, or pottery as their economy or currency. This item symbolizes wealth and power amongst many and helps culture flourish. The second aspect of culture that I discovered was that of religion. It is culturally universal, and many different cultures believe in different gods or different religions. The uses someone may get out of an item like a cross or a Bible is that of finding self-worth, having a protection that they know is always going to be there, along with an individual to talk to and believe in. This item tells us that gives us a lot of information about passion and how many people use it as a day-to-day basis and way of living. The third aspect of culture that I discovered was that of sport. This is culturally universal, and it can be found throughout many different cultures. Our sport in American day and age can be different from Europe's or Native American. And some uses that someone can get from this item or this aspect is a strong passion behind something that brings groups of people together and helps you make friends and have something in common with a large group of people. This tells us a lot about culture. It brings a lot of people together. It brings the world together, most importantly. And there's nothing but love throughout sport. The fourth aspect of culture that I've discovered was that of technology and sciences. I don't believe that this is culturally universal. Not a lot of cultures are familiar with technology or the science of health or any sort of thing like that. The uses people can get from an item that is technology or science related is that they learn and that they have resources and sources that they can rely on. Whether it's a GPS, whether it's trying to find out information about an illness, a sickness, or what else is going on in the world. And not everybody has technology, not everybody has the Wi-Fi or the ability to learn on their own. Technology is advanced in the Western world aspect and may not be very well known among cultures and not in very poor countries. The aspect of culture that I have discovered is that of education, whether it be the elementary level, the high school level, or the college level. This is not culturally universal. It is mainly throughout the world, but it is very hard for women or children to get an education. And it is found in a majority of other cultures, but is very frowned upon amongst many other cultures. Some uses that someone might get out of education is learning, growth. It helps them with future goals and their life and what's ahead of them. And education, this item tells us a lot about a culture. A culture can be very smart, very educated, and another culture can not have an idea about what's going on. So education is very important, and it might not be well known amongst a lot of cultures. The sixth aspect of culture that I've discovered is that of family. Family is culturally universal. It can be found in many other cultures, and culture is mainly based around family. Many uses you can get out of family is advice, heritage, your own family culture, and advice. You learn and you grow and you love, and you learn many different things with family and friends that you consider family. This item tells us that culture is very close-knit, that this is something that culture is mainly based around, is family and love and having this close bond with other groups of people. An aspect of culture that I discovered was that of pop culture, which is music or any sort of celebrity or aspect of entertainment. It can be culturally universal. It can be found in many different cultures, and a lot of different people who are part of different cultures are fans of artists or entertainers, influencers. Some uses someone might get from this sort of aspect is some uses that someone from another culture can get from this is that of admiration and looking up to these different individuals, and it might inspire people to get out in the world, learn, live, and try and follow in their steps. This item tells us a lot about culture because it can inspire many people and it can help people find what they truly want to do in life and gives people the love for art that they may have been looking for their whole life in this culture. One of the last aspects of culture that I discovered was that of politics and government. It is culturally universal throughout many different cultures, and it is used to be able to control individuals and the population of countries. You can find some good things out of government and politics, and then you can find a lot of bad things in government and politics. And this item tells us that there's always some sort of policy or government in charge. Politics and government can hurt culture in many different ways. Last aspect of culture that I discovered was that of heritage or inheritance of something. And this is a ring from my mom's great-grandmother, which is my great-great-grandmother, that she has inherited. And this is culturally universal. There are many cultures that inherit things or have their own heritage, own sort of heritage, like folklore, storytelling, different theories that are passed down throughout throughout many different generations. And some uses that someone might get out of this is the understanding of history, understanding what was going on in a certain point of time while these generations were living, and it would be passed down and inherited throughout the younger generations of life. And this item tells us a lot about culture because we learn things that we probably wouldn't know if heritage and many aspects of it weren't handed down in generations.